Skip. The Hardy's heist. Come to see how we're doing then? Yeah. There ain't much to test yet. Things are coming along, but progress is bloody slow. Not one of these buggers has the flair for the irons what you or Joy showed. We best let them get back to it then. I've a different favor to ask of you, Ronald. The Watch has been tasked with its first big job, standing guard at the Temple Knights Investor Ceremony. This ceremony is an important event, and setting the Watch too. Well, watch over it is a gesture what's meant to embody the new spirit of harmony between highborn and lowborn. Lucia didn't honey her words. She said that making a mess of this duty is like to harm our reputation beyond saving. The hounds will be knocked down before they even take their first steps. But getting back to that favor, there to be a meeting to discuss security concerns for the event, and I want you sitting in on it. You see, the representative for the Temple Knights is the kind of bloke what has me itching to shoot him in the teeth. Pompous bastard by the name of Muscadian. If you're there, I might just be able to keep my trigger finger under control. Thanks, Ronald. I appreciate the support. I'll see you at the congregation then. Oh boy, another noble who just thinks the world revolves around them. Mm-hmm. Oh. Over here. You? I was not informed. Ronald here is my advisor. I trust her advice a damn sight more than that of a certain empty-helmed, stiff-backed blue blood. I would not dispute her place at this meeting. In fact, be far less inclined to entrust this duty to a certain foul-mouthed, disrespectful commoner were she not accompanied by such an advisor. My apologies for the interruption. I bear urgent news. Speak. A thief has breached the vault and stolen the sacred blade Harrington? Harrington's the sword what used to dub new knights, or so they tell me, but that place is crawling with guards. Hard to imagine how someone even managed to get in there, let alone filch on anything. It is unthinkable. The treasury door is secured with 7 different locks. Sentries stand vigilant day and night. None could approach without notice. Inside job. Infirmary claimed they were struck senseless. They later awoke to find the door to the treasury hanging open, but of all the valuable secret, within only the blade was missing. By all accounts, the entire incident took place over a span of a few short minutes. This burglary obviously had a plan and was very precise in its execution. And you say that only the Herndon was taken? The loss of such a prominent symbol right before the ceremony bodes ill for Sir Emmerich's reputation. The Lord Commander cannot afford to have his authority eroded at this delicate stage. Lest Ishgard once more fall prey to infighting and insurrection. We must reclaim the blade ere its disappearance becomes common knowledge. I have not the time nor the nights to spare for this. Well, my hounds might be able to help you there. They're the best to watch has the Archer, and I reckon they can keep their gobs shut. Your ceremonies are time to shine. So we've a vested interest in seeing it go forward as planned. And there's no harm in getting on Sir Maverick's good side neither. Let's say we look into it. Do as you wish. But Ronald's assistant, mayhap your mob of commoners can see molecum of some molecum of sex, if you will excuse me. Ugly bastard. You'd think he'd show a bit more bloody gratitude. Life of the noble. Anyway, enough of that. We've a sword to find. We can begin by asking some questions, I reckon. Get our own idea of what happened. Ready to put on your inquisitor's robes? Good, then I have the perfect bloke for us to talk to. I know a knight what took part in that raid on the vault a while back. And he just so happens to be captain of the treasury guard. Let's head to the Hoplon and see if our man's about. There we go. Now we can see. You just can't talk in those things. Look at this gun. What is this? This is crazy looking. I like the outfit though. I actually do like the gun and outfit. It's just like, what in the world? Last vigil. Oh. Mistress Ronald and Mistress Hilda told me to expect you. And I thought he'd no time to spare. So does this mean you're to help or hinder us? Why, to help you, of course. Here, material evidence from the scene. All 7 locks on the treasury doors were destroyed, and the scrap of metal was found lodged in one of the keyholes. The impacts crushed it all out of shape, but it looks like a bullet to me. Our copper wields some sort of firearm? A firearm, did you say? Has there been yet another crime committed with one of those horrible inventions? By the gods, I can scarcely sleep at night for worry. I suspect this is all the fault of Sir Emmer's precious revolution. Who might you be, miss? And what did you mean by another? Why, the tales I've heard of high tea this past week will curl your toes. They say a musket-wielding brigade now terrorizes the Western Highlands. Just when the threat of those dragon-loving heretics is finally ended, a new nightmare arises to take their place. At least you think this some noble lady's fancy. Even the traders come to supply the... To speak of shots echoing in the night near Hemlock. Dreadful. Dreadful. I understand that our knights must honor our oath to aid foreign nations, but it must come at the cost of keeping order in Ishgard. Look at me, I've positively flushed. I must retire to my chambers. What? She hard of hearing was on. That's hardly didn't so much as glance in my direction. Unfortunate habit of the more traditional highborns, I'm afraid. Such stubborn examples aside. However, your actions have taught many of our nobles the wisdom of heeding the common citizenry. I have not been that in a while. Well, thank you for the bullet. Good night. Good day to you. Much as I'd like to ignore her ladyship's blabbering, it might be worth looking into the rumor of this bandit up near Hemlock. Considering the time and how the treasury was robbed, it's just too much a coincidence. We have a couple of leads to follow, eh? Why don't you take the bullet to Sterling and see if he can tell us where it came from? Meanwhile, I'll head out to Hemlock and look for anyone what's armed with a carbine or something similar. Come join me once you've done with the bullet. Might be as I'll need your help with the search. Oh, how fares the training of our indominant watch? You have something for me? Yes, this is certainly the remnant of a bullet fired from close range, but more than that, I cannot tell you. It may have been made right here in the manufactory, but honestly, there's a little difference between our ammunition and the bullets forged in Limsa Lamensa. I'm sorry, the deformation makes it impossible to identify an origin with any degree of accuracy. Yes, more power. Drop. My thanks was paying too much attention to the ground when them beasts came at me. I managed to put down one or two, but it's that you got there. What? Power. Another call. Those curs have been set to guard the place, though they seemed wild enough to me. I found signs that someone was here, Ronald. Could be that her ladyship's brigand. There's more than empty parlor talk. Let's get back to the broom before we compare notes, though. It's bloody freezing out here. I'm trying to keep track of where to go, and this is kind of confusing. Right. So, what do we got? Did that bully have a tale to tell? Nope. That's too bad. I thought maybe we could learn where it came from, at least. Seems that leaves us chasing after this mysterious mystery bandit. Maybe I'll head out to Hemlock again. I don't know, look around. I'll stick it out here and keep drilling the troops then. You'll be the first to know when they're ready for inspection. We'll make you proud, don't you worry about that. Don't stay away for too long, we've a thief to catch. Release the hound. I have something to share with you, Ronald. I pulled a scrap of parchment from the campfire found by Hemlock, and the bits weren't blackened and burnt were an interesting find. Seems it was a contract of sorts promising the sale of a historically significant blade to a certain Limson merchant. I'll give you one good guess as to which bloody blade it's referring to. A Limson broke never gives a name, but he's infamous for building a trade empire on the ashes of the calamity. There's rumors aplenty as to why the shifty bugger is so successful, and not a few of them point to a profit made from black market goods. Well, it turns out that this infamous merchant was stopped at a checkpoint on the border. The Temple Knights were there keeping an eye out for the stolen store and reported that the trader was last seen making for Boulders Down. That seems to match up with what we read in that contract, eh? We need to find that merchant and wait until the thief shows up with the blade. What say you both? I can count on you to come along, right? Now you're just... Hold on there, miss. I took your inspection job, but doesn't mean you can drag me into the fray to wipe your ass. No one's saying you have to do any fighting. Think of it as a chance to train us in the field, even if you might need to dodge a bullet too. Why do I let myself get roped into these messes? Well, seeing as that merchant is giving me Homeland a bad name, I suppose I can help with this one time. I better see you out there too, Ronald. I'll be out there. Hello, Dane. Get your kits and meet us out there near Boulder's End. Okay. Did I get the... Can you get over? Deliver. Oh. That's a... Oh, is that? Oh, that's the nail. Yeah. This is the ship. I think. We know this is one of the aftermath parts of, yeah, dollar mode. They're so close to it, too. That's concerning. We found the merchant, Ronald. He's out there doing a deal as we speak. But first we need to make sure his customer is the thieving bastard we're looking for. Alright. Grab another hound and sniff out the situation. Best go to, Ronald, just in case them pups run into something they can't handle. Who files this up, be sure to give him a good smack across the snout for me. You don't have to be that crazy. Right here? Is that them? I love the fact that we can just run up on them. Oh, he looks... I'm guessing the blue one is the merchant. Who they don't trust us or something? After all the drills we're gonna put us through, I reckon we can manage a bit of spying. Spying, not firing. Are you certain of this? As I recall, the client requested that be delivered directly upon its acquisition. That was the deal. We delivered the sword, but then our client, you say, turned around and gave it right back. Change of bleeding heart or something. I don't know. Look, can you fence this thing or not? Yes, yes. I'm sure we can come to an equitable agreement. This is the bloke. Yes, ma'am. He's got the sword. Understood. Hill is getting ready to charge in. We wait here for the rest of the hounds. The sacred blade and the Harrington? An oppressive piece, heavy with history and treasure. It should fetch a fine price with the right buyer. Thank the bloody gods for that. Now about our share. I've got something to share with you right here. Who the hell are you fellas over here? Those hounds, we uphold the law in Ishgard. And you are all suspects in the theft of the sacred blade Harrington. It's guardian soldiers. I'll not risk my life against you fanatics. Hey, are you a coward? I don't know how you found us, but you'll never be leaving here alive. Really? What are you gonna do? That's a good old shot. Oh, am I just defeating? Yep. Had enough yet? It's coming right in your face. Put it right in your face. You. It's gotta go!
See you! Is that all you've got? When shot, when killed.
Oh. It's arms line. No, it's. I feel it. One of my ability buttons can stop it. That it is actually doing that. Complete. The lads are still after the bandit chief himself, but it looks like we got this lot sorted. We'll march him back to his guard, squeeze him for information, then head over to Miscreant. Oh, we did it! Ronald, we got the sword back. The hounds have done well, eh? The hounds have done very well. Ronald, that means a lot coming from you. Well, of course they bloody done well. They got me to train them. Alright, Hilda, but the leader's gone. Seems the bastard had a chocobo hidden nearby. He was in the saddle and away before we could catch him. Ah, well, there's nothing to be done. The blade's ours now. Okay, so let's call this one a victory. Time to head home. Ronald, hang around for a bit, would you? There's something we need to discuss. When we were fighting them bandits, I got a glimpse of the leader's weapon, and I reckon I might know where he got it from. But I'll need to do some snooping around for it, I'm certain. Old habits die hard, I guess. Anyway, do me a favor and tell Hilda that I'll be taking some time off until I've satisfied my curiosity. Ooh. Daddy. Oh. Welcome back, Ronald. Wait, where's Winston? I thought he was with you. No. How can time off to chase after a hunch? What the hell is that old pirate up to? I guess we'll just have to muddle along without him while he's looking into that firearm business. Besides, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a bit curious about it myself. What about you, Ronald? Back to the Bruins when you can, and then might as well have a tale to tell. You mean like right now? Where you been, Ronald? I've been itching to open this letter from Ron Stoppable, but he's addressed it to you. Come on, let's hear what he has to say. Mystery Salt. I took a good look at the stock and the firearms. One of theirs. NIMSA has some bloody strict regulations on the export of firearms, so our bandit chief must have had a back alley supplier. Get your ass to NIMSA and find out who put that weapon in our thief's hand. I'll be at the Etherite on the lower docks. He's on the trail then. Good. Just let me get my gear and let me home. What, you're going with Ronald? Is that really a good idea? I'm assuming this one, Hilda. If the leader of the hounds start picking quarrels on foreign soil, we could be looking at all sorts of trouble for his good. Max. Ishgard's where the bloody trouble started, and since when have folk of the broom been content to sit back and let others handle the dirty work? I'm howling, and that's the end of it. But I promise I'll be on my best behavior. Better. People in Limsa, they won't care. They'll shoot you and they'll shoot you first and ask questions later. Or strike you down. Or axe you. Alright. What the hell is she doing here? I put your bleeding name on the letter and all. I need to see this through. If I don't, then what are the hounds good for? You'll just have to humor me. I was aiming to avoid political complications, seeing as Ronald and me aren't tied too tightly to any one nation. You're just lucky I have a soft spot for fools would ignore the risks to make a point. Let's get to it then. The bloke's most likely to have supplied that firearm is the same bastard who tried to buy the sword, our black marketeer friend. We're lucky. It might have an eyebrow where the began enough to. I have a mind to squeeze him until an answer pops out. I'd like to have a word or two with that bandit leader myself. He's a loose end what needs tying up. And we're on the same page. According to me sources, we should find the merchant in the anchor yard. Let's go over there and get this business over. Business? Because it looks like an anchor. We're almost done. Like I said, once I've done the machinist storyline, we'll get. Well, yeah, we'll get 2 levels and then start working on role quest lines. We could just go at a slow pace, you know. Get 2 levels, do a role quest line, and then stop and do something else, so we can keep as much of our sanity, or just get it all done today. And then I never have to deal with anything else except unless it's small. Like small things. If it isn't the hounds, was it? What can a humble peddler such as myself do for Ishgard's finest? Tells the bandit leader. Where is he hiding? A man in my trade, no commodity is more valuable than discretion. If I were to disclose such information, my customers will cease to try. If you're not feeling helped, maybe I should pay a visit to the Yellow Jackets and mention the firearm your valued customer was using. Maybe I'll just skip straight to them as upholds the code. No, let us not be too hasty. Mayhap I can make an exception for this case in exchange for your silence regarding my trade in exotic weapons. I believe the gentleman in question has a camp in Providence Point in the Central Highlands. That's where I would look. Oh, it's a start. If you're playing as false, I'll be back to feed the crabs with your lying tongue. In fact, if I ever hear you dealing in stolen goods again, you can add a few more body parts to that list. Nice doing business with you. Now that they're gone. One slow to the fine. Oh, God, I can't even do that. Yep. So just deal with the problem and just get it over. What? How did you? You signed your own death warrant coming here. Really? You killed me, precious. I came running when I heard the shots, but it seems you had things well in hand. I mean, there's more of you? Please, I'll do anything you ask. Just don't kill me. Up your bleeding, blubbering cur. We're gonna kill you, not just yet, anywhere. I'll depend on the answers you give us. Answers. What's he on about, huh? Oh. The identity. Wait, it wasn't that black market bloke? Well, I guess he wanted more than just the sword, eh? The mobile guards we captured were bloody clueless. They only knew what the job was, not the who or the why. Meaning the whole deal was made through this bastard. Barking dog, and you might save your own hide. We was pirates once. That was until the Admiral passed her bloody law. Blokes like us, though, we ain't cut out for honest work. We'd almost drunk through the last of our plunder when that back alley peddler showed up with some overpainted wench. Said she had a job for us. Ah, all we had to do was filch a special sword for the Holy See. Huh. For the purse she offered, we had stolen the whole bleeding vault. And who was this woman? Part of the deal was we didn't ask no questions. Even the merchant didn't know her real name. It was odd, eh? But we needed the coin, and I ain't greatly carried it away. The job itself was easy and take you to a piss. She even paid for me to have a firearm to use, and sent us down a route where we didn't see no guards, though the gods only know how she managed that trick. All we did was follow her map, shoot the locks on the vault. Walked in, grabbed the sword, walked out, bolted. Please, the trouble came after the delivery was made. She gave the blade back to you. Yeah, she sent for me again the day after. Pushed the sword back into my hand with a full sack of coins. Said she made a mistake or something, and I should sell the damn thing. Well, I ain't fool enough to try fetching a relic like that on my own, so I went back to the merchant. You were fool enough not to properly burn your contract of sale. How do you think we found you the first time? Contract of sales? What the hell are you talking about? You think I'd leave a deal like that in ink for the whole world to see? Oh, things are starting to make sense now. There's just one little problem with your story. I've told you this truth, I swear. It was that wrench who put us up to it. And that bit, I believe, what catches me in me crawl is her reasoning for handing back the sword. That was no mistake. And us finding that contract of sales, this pastor says, wrote was no mistake either. No, we was led by the nose to reclaim before it was sold. And the quickest way to learn the way of it might be to ask the blade itself. Would you mind parting this piece of awful back to Ishgar, Bishop? What? Ask the blade itself. Oh, wait, Mono. We need to pay us a visit to Buchanan and convince him to take a closer look at that sword. Oh, it's not even real. I was wondering about that. It's like, yeah. The true sword is somewhere else. Someone else has the real sword. And I think I know who has it. Yep. Miss pink-haired noblewoman who's like, oh, those shots, they're so scary. It's like, please. Oh, well. It's just Ronald. How may you again? Was there some choice insult you've forgotten to spit at me during our previous meeting? Jeez. Truce, Musk. I wouldn't be here if it weren't important. I see, so you believe that may have been altered in some fashion before you were allowed to reclaim it? It's a bit too bloody convenient if you think. Don't you think? Maybe I'm wrong, but I'd rather look the fool than risk something happening at the ceremony. We need to check that sword. I must admit, your passion confounds me. The blade is recovered, and your hounds have done their duty. Why pursuing such a faint suspicion? Why willingly endure the presence of a man you so clearly despise? I hate your bleeding guts, but once we take on a job, we do the damn thing right. Ronald gave her all the safeguard. How could I look her in the eyes if I let our petty feud get in the way of my duty? Such pride, I've not seen this side of you before. It is as you say, if there truly is some flaw or trickery in the blade that disrupts the ceremony, the consequence could be grave indeed. Yet there are rules in place which prevent me from simply handing Huntington over to the hounds. Furthermore, our resident blacksmith has already inspected the recovered weapon and declared it sound. So we should. Even so, I will call upon Lord Silver to conduct an independent examination. A machinist may notice a detail that a blacksmith would overlook. I trust this can be accomplished with the requisite discretion. Oh, good. As far as the releasing of her is concerned, the manufactory is a sanctioned facility. The bureaucrats will be satisfied, even should I secure the necessary permissions after the fact. I shall begin making the arrangements. Well, that's that then. Let's get back to the broom and tell the news. I mean... Whee! Peloton! Oh. No, not known for his love of the lowborn. I didn't expect he just... I thought I'd have put up more of a fight is what I'm saying. Well, the sword's with the manufactory now, so I have no complaints. That's where I meant to take it in the first place. Now we wait. But don't get too comfortable, Ronald. Things are sure to come to head soon enough. And there they are. The mongrel and the knight. We've just had a messenger from the manufacturer. Seems they finished looking over the sword. Let's head over there and hear what Lord Senator has to say. Oh my. All the relative parties appear to be present. If you would, Lord. Step away. Very well, I'll cut straight to the point. I discovered a small bomb concealed inside the hilt of the sword. Jeez. This particular explosive was part of a batch intended for Temple Knight training purposes, and is designed to be detonated from a distance. I won't bore you with the specifics. Assume that but I sure that I am quite familiar with its capabilities. After all, I was the one who made it. But someone went into a lot of trouble to sneak that bomb into the ceremony. An assassination attempt? Unlikely. As I said, these bombs were designed for training exercises. Even if you were grasping the hilt when it exploded, you wouldn't even lose a finger. Some nasty burns at the worst. That would be more than enough. If the second blade were to be dropped during the... Many in the cloud would interpret that as a sign from the Fury. The Lord Commander's authority would come into question, and responsibility for the incident will fall squarely upon the hounds. So someone wishes to discredit the watch beyond salvation. That would explain the ridiculous rumors presently circulating amongst the lords and ladies. Rumors? What rumors? Why that heroin's theft and recovery was orchestrated entirely by the watch itself. Some of the more impressionable members of nobility are convinced you armed bandits with firearms instructed them to steal the sword and then capture them yourselves to elevate your standing. Then the mood's already sour and simmering. If the sword exploded on top of that, it'd be like throwing oil on a fire. Reason be damned, it'd be the watch's heads on the chopping block. Who could have instigated the gossip behind those baseless accusations? I've ordered the events surrounding her and stuff to be kept in the strictest of confidences. The woman who arranged the theft. Oh, well, she would know all about that, wouldn't she? I suspect this villainous fears the threat of to the status quo, and the high profile of the hounds have made you a target. A strike against you is a strike against the idea of any commoner bearing the power of a firearm. I'm flattered to know we've become so important, but she picked the wrong pack of dogs to corner. Now it's our turn to go on the hunt. Going after the mastermind, eh? I'm all for a bit of retribution, but we'll need a better description than overpainted wrench. Fortunately, my proscometer and I are one step ahead of you this time. As soon as I discovered the bomb, I set to work crafting a device that would help us pinpoint the location of its paired detonator, and thus lead us directly to the one who holds it. I propose we simply proceed with the ceremony as planned and catch the fool red-handed. Not a bad plan as long as we're prepared for any accomplices she might have lurking along with her. The ceremony is almost upon us. Let us steel ourselves for the task ahead. We'll set out our strategy, then head back to the berm. Meet us there when you're ready, Ronald. Okay. Well. Right, Ronald, the ceremony is about to begin. Here's the plan. Muscadine and the other hounds will be handing security as scheduled, so as not to arouse suspicion. We reckon the lady will have someone watching the proceedings, ready to tell her the best moment to detonate that little bomb, likely right as the blade rests on an initiate's shoulder. That's how I'd do it, anyhow. The watcher shouldn't be too hard to spot. The hounds can nab him before he gets away. Meanwhile, we'll be waiting until we inform with its device ready to move as soon as we're sure of the detonator's location. Bring your best ammunition, Ronald. If this woman can organize a clear route through the vault, then she's likely to have worse than a few ragged bandits on our side. Like maybe other knights. Oh boy. It's taking so long, boss. The ceremony's already begun. So quiet, if you will, if you catch the exact moment. If I can catch the exact moment the detonator is activated. I have it. The signal came from the far edge of the broom. The smug bastards are hiding right in our home territory. Right then. We best go give a proper bloody welcome. Is the crowd enjoying our little spot? What? Nothing? Not even a puff of smoke? Surprise! We found your bomb. The hounds. I know, right? I know you. You're the noble who ignored me outside the vault. In the right place at the right time to plant that bandit runner, hey? I suppose you was the one who penned that contract of sale, too. Nonsense it is. I have no memory of fraternizing with commoners. Got your attention this time, didn't I? A good thing, too, since I have a wagon load more questions for you. Here's one. Are your Inquisitor friends there going to come quietly? You and your hounds will be the only ones swinging their arms this day. Not only have you interfered with official Inquisitor business, you insulted and accused an innocent member of nobility. May have a spell on your station. Now, see here, the hounds have silent evidence that these individuals are party to a serious crime. Speak with ceremony and all will be explained. And now we meet the rest of the rats. If you were wondering how the noble wrench got hold of the training bomb and cleared a route through the vault for them bandits, then here's your answers. I reckon they'd show their whiskers sooner or later. You sworn to protect Ishgard, and you chose to throw your lot in with this highborn ball. Sir Amaric's fighting to keep the city from tearing itself apart. You just stab a blade in his back while you're at it. The time for empty bravado has passed, child. We are not common savages. Give yourselves up, and I promise you shall live to see tomorrow. You can stick that promise right up your head. That's common enough for you? This is over. In our authority as Ishgard's Watch, we're taking you in for the crimes of larceny, insurgency, and general bloody idiocy. Yeah. Couldn't even fight your own battles, could you? Oh well. Wait, where's the noble woman? Because it slipped away while we were in the thick of it. She can't have gotten far. She flees towards the Ark. Ronald, come on, you lot. Her. Great Sir Knight, I know not their grievance, but these lowborn ruffians seek to cause me harm. Let us disperse with the theatrics, Baroness Menelise. After capturing your accomplice at the ceremony, it was surprisingly easy to praise free the details of your plan. You have sided with these common curs? I thought you, a proud member of the nobility, as one of the chosen few. How can you condense any act that places power in the filthy hands of the chosen few? An accident of birth allowed us the privilege to fight for our nation. And I, for one, welcome our new comrades in arms. Your actions brand you as an enemy of Ishgard. Pay for your crimes. Blasphemy! I am an inquisitor! You betray your bloodline, and thus it falls on me to size the corruption seeping in our nation's veins. Really is insane. What do you mean, heresy? Did she just quaff the blood of the tails, but this is it? Can't say I expected her to win. She's lost her bloody mind. Yeah, this definitely will never they would never let you in even if you won. Oh, that wasn't so bad. It is finished. The Baroness and her cronies believe that none but the nobility are fit to lead Ishgar's people. They resented efforts to bring highborn and lowborn closer in standing. It seemed that the Hound's formation was too great a threat to be endured. Only wants a little respect and the strength to defend our home. What are they so bloody afraid of? They fear the erosion of their status. And I must confess to feeling a whisper of that unreasoning terror. Had I succumbed to my jealousy and hate, I may have joined them upon their twisted path. But I misjudged you. I believed you so reviled the circumstances of your birth, that you sought only to bring ruin to Ishgard. Until recently, you wouldn't have been far off the mark. It was Ronald and Sir Emmerich who convinced me fighting for change was a damn sight more worthwhile than adding to the misery. Indeed. Pray forgive the barbs I have slung at you and your hounds, Captain. I've been blind to the courage and determination of the common folk, and I humbly request that the watch continue to aid us in the defense of this. You didn't deserve all the spite I spit out. I spat at you neither. I see his face when I look at you, and I can't just bloody help myself. I'll try to work on that, though. I must go now and see the processing of the prisoners. Be well, sister. Sister. Their family? This? So whenever she sees his face, what she meant was her father. You're siblings then? I was unaware that you and Miss were so closely connected. Left that part out, did I? He's my half-brother, born to another woman after my darling dad cast my mom back onto the streets. The usual story. Well, that ain't a thing what you're blurting out now, is it? That's something I bring up often now. I don't reckon Miska was too keen on declaring his relation to the monarch. Shortly after he inherited the old man's estate. Maybe as you could put that bad blood behind you now. Better than drowning in it anyway. Might be as you are right. Most admirable woman you've become, my dear. Not to mention a champion to the people of the room. It seems I was right to put that firearm in your hand. I thank you for taking that gamble. You gave me more than just a weapon that day. You gave me control over my fate. If it wasn't for you, I'd likely still be scrounging in the street and cursing at the sky. It's gratifying indeed to see how far you've come. Now, we must return to the workshop. The mountain of commissions only grow larger and longer. I neglected, as Joy would so sharply remind me. Where is Joy? Oh yeah, she's still fighting. We best get back to the room ourselves. We'll be wondering what became of us. Yeah, because I want my flame launcher, and then we got to do one last quest, which is the closure quest. Because like once you which is the closing quest, which afterwards means no more because it all becomes rolls. The sword's been returned, the Baroness is in feathers, and the hounds have shown themselves a force to be reckoned with. Happy endings all around, eh? The lads and lasses were a bit rough to start with, but I can't rightly call them pups anymore. You'll do fine without us, I'd say. What, so you're both leaving in? I thought you'd have a few more tricks to share. Don't start whining now, lass. We've given you the tools of in the foundation. You can build the rest of the bleeding house yourselves. Alright, we can. Thank you. Alright, let's not get all the bloody center with. I'm off. Fair winds to you, Ronald. Bye! Well, thanks to you as well, Ronald. Come back and visit when you can. I'm sure the hounds will have some new story to tell. Flamethrower! I'm a machinist, not a man. Yep, there it is. Machinist of the morrow. Be the final quest, and then it's... I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we'll, I guess, work on... I'm not sure, really. Machinist of the morrow. Ronald, my prospector meter never fails. Oh, everyone's here, I think. No, never mind. That's two characters. I knew your own well-honed skill instincts would alert you to the current turmoil. It is our faithful Joy who concerns me. Her behavior has been awfully odd of late. Frequent outings to parties unknown, acting secretive, that sort of thing. It reminds me of the time her father was being held captive. I worry that she once finds herself the victim of nefarious circumstances. That is, as they say, where you come in. An adventurer and a machinist of your caliber should have little trouble discerning the severity of her situation discreetly, of course. I would make a few subtle inquiries myself, but I fear that Joy, her sense on edge, as they were, whom detect the attempt. As fortune would have it, she only just left on one of her mysterious outings. You should be able to catch her in the vicinity of me. What? Sorry, Joy. Hope I didn't keep you waiting too long. I just got here myself. Hey! As a matter of fact, but we best be getting along all the same. Today's the day, I can feel it. Hilda and Joy. Ah, champion. Got business in the city with my sister, man? I thought I spied her in the crowd making her way to the forum. So Laura is concerned for Joy then. Well, he's placed his trust in the right agent if it's discretion he requires. As it happens, I may have information to use of use to you. It's been brought to my attention that Joy and Hilda have been spotted together in Falcon's Nest on one occasion. They both earned a measure of fame here in Ishgard. You see, sufficient to warrant a curious mention to the Temple Knights when the two of them are seen traveling as a pair. I'm so much curious about Hilda's activities myself, but I shall leave further investigation in your capable hands. Pray convey regards to Lords Steffovin. I don't think they're doing anything bad. Could it be, though? Could they like each other? It's either that or they're trying to find something. Like, maybe a challenge? I don't know, welcome back. Were you able to divine aught of consequence? What hell do you say? What in hell's Halone's name could they be doing in Falcon's Nest? A peep from my prospector meter. I suppose there's not else for it. We must fall back on old-fashioned reconnaissance. They led me your assistance a lot longer, Ronald. To Falcon's Nest we go. on the Falcon's Nest. There you are, Ronald. Had you any idea how famous our machinists have become? I had only mentioned Joy to Hilda by name to be inundated with a venerable flood of rumors. We seem our unlikely pair en route to the Black Iron Bridge. And just like that, we have our next destination. Hi. I'm telling you, if we're crashing on a date, I'm gonna be so annoyed with these people. Not Joy and Hilda, but everybody else. It's like, chill. What was that? Shots from a firearm. And there could be no mistaking the owners. Come, we might have a better view from the edge of the cliff. It's no good. I've got nothing. What about you, Joy? My mind's a blank. Easy enough to say, but damn sight harder to do, eh? We've always had an instructor before showing us the way. Not surprising we'd stumble a bit, trying to come up with stuff on our own. I suppose I thought we'd have made more progress by now. Are you sure we shouldn't ask his lordship for a little advice? That'd defeat the purpose then, wouldn't it? If we're to stand on our own 2 feet, then we need to work this out ourselves. You're right of it. We just keep shooting and hope we find our target. I keep meaning to ask, how in the bloody hells do you do that? Do you flick off the hairbands when you draw the weapon, or... No time for questions, Hilda. Your breath be better spent searching for new things to shoot. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I don't know what's going on now. It's like, this... It is I who dreamed of machinist. I'm Ratsa who helped bring the idea into being. The machine we put together, well, that was driven forward by the likes of you and Joy. Then as naturally as if... Then as naturally as if I had planned it, you and those 2 ladies took charge of my designs. 'Tis a strange feeling how wildly the needle flicks twixt a mentor's pride and an adventurer's longing. It seems, however, that our comrades are experiencing some difficulties with the particulars of developing new techniques, a problem to which we might offer a solution. But in light of their efforts to achieve independence, to simply begin bellowing directions seem boorish. Have you any ideas on how to proceed? We give their imaginations a nudge. A little creative push, you think? That could certainly help break them out of the slump they find themselves in, but how exactly provide that inspiration? But of course, the answer stands right there in front of me. You stand at the peak of the profession, a living embodiment of all that it means to be a machinist. All we need to do is have you demonstrate the techniques you have acquired and refined over the course of your illustrious career. What could possibly be more inspiring? I shall head out now and herd a suitably monstrous opponent back for you to dispatch. The sound of shots ringing out should bring the ladies running to investigate just as their alerted us to their location. Right then, we'll reconvene at this spot once our little show is concluded. Good one. This is taking a little longer than I thought. But, Warpate. At least I'll have the 5 rolls that I want in the end. What? Oh. That's it? Whoa! But, nicely done, Ronald. I am truly in awe of what you can accomplish with my contraptions. Tell me, where did you learn such control and power? I thought to save this distant star, I journeyed through a land without night. I fear the magnitude of such a journey falls beyond the scope of my prostrometer, but the results of your experience speaks for themselves. Assumingly, they were watching. Our 2 machinist comrades will have... And assuming they were watching, our 2 machinist comrades will have certainly gleaned a lesson or 2 from your expert demonstration. Yes, I believe our work here is done. We return to the It took a bit, but Machinist is finally done story-wise. It should have been done a while back, but I wanted to get to 80 before completing it, so I can get this quest, the level 80 quest. My thanks, Ronald. I've been at a complete loss in this matter were it not for your invaluable assistance, and I imagine I'm not the only one tuning your friendship with that. Speaking of which... Look at you two. Thick of thieves, are you? You are. Seems we was right. Rather a personal greeting, even for you, dear Hilda. Something on your minds? Well, it was awfully convenient for Ronald to put on a grand show of skill, just as we were scratching our noggins over new techniques. Oh, And I'll wager it was me lordship what had her pulling the trigger. How did you... What? Did you think you were being sneaky? The notoriously helpful champion of Ishgard popping up right where and when we needed her. Unlikely. It's not that we're ungrateful, you see. We was already trying so hard to follow in your way. And it was like being lost at sea and finding an island that's not on the map. A bit perplexing, but welcome all the same. I guess what we're saying is that you're giving us our bearings and a firm footing to start charting our own course. And there you have it. Further proof that my prospector meter was in fine working order when it first chirped in your presence. Right. Well, we've said our piece. It's time we get back to squeezing them triggers. Keep an eye out, me lordship. Soon enough, we'll be the ones showing you what a machinist can do. Is my subterfuge truly so transparent? But how swiftly my charges have grown, and how easily did it slip my notice. So unlike the deliberate evolution of my ambitions, but let us not forget your astounding development. I dare say no barrage of shots has ever proven so instructional. Thank you again, Ronald, and do feel free to drop by the manufactory from time to time, even if we're not shut by some peace-shattering crisis. Yeah, because, you know. I'm not a machinist. I'm a machinist, not a man. Yay! We finally did it. So with that done, I'm gonna take a break. Short break to get some food and and then I'm gonna get 2 levels for machinist, and then I'm gonna go and do a what's it called? Oh, one of the role quest lines.